welcome to another episode of Alpha Intuition Podcast. We empower you to become the CEO of your life. I'm your host, Keisha L. Blair, corporate trainer and number one life balancing coach. And each week, my goal is to bring you real stories and strategies to help you grow in life and in your career. Today, before I introduce my guest, if this is your first time watching, please make sure that you like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can get notified when we drop new episodes, which is usually every Saturday morning. Now, Alpha Intuition family, today I have a special guest, someone who has come to help us talk about how to inspire women. She is a certified life coach. She is an anger management specialist and the founder of the Tapestry of Love. And she's also a retired California Highway Patrol officer. Now, through her work as a life coach, she creates transformative spaces for women by helping them embrace self-love and confidence while stepping into their inner purpose. She's passionate about helping women build confidence and create the life that they truly want. And today she is here to share her journey and inspire us all with her perspective on self-love and saying no to what no longer serves us while saying yes to new opportunities and favor. Alpha Intuition family, it is my honor to bring to y'all my cousin, Miss Cynthia Lyles. Hey, Cynthia, how are you today?
I am amazing. I'm amazing.
Well, I love that
I'm
purple
so
you have
glad.
on.
I'm so happy to be here and so glad that we were able to reconnect after all these years.
I know. Y'all, so just real quick, she is actually my mother's first cousin. She's actually, I guess that would be my second cousin. Even though I'm not even gonna tell her age, but just know she looked like she's younger than me. Um, and she's beautiful. And but I'm gonna let her tell her journey and her story. But she is a gorgeous spirit, gorgeous soul. So I'm so happy to have you here today.
Oh, thank you. I think she's just a little biased, y'all. But anyway, and I do have a birthday coming up tomorrow, and I am so grateful to see it. But I think it's I'm told that black don't crack. I don't know, but anyway, we got some good genes. But
Yes,
yes, I am the founder of the Tapestry of Love, and it started out as a book probably about 12 years ago. I started writing this book called The Tapestry of Love, and it's morphed into a company now to where I'm encouraging and empowering women to not self-sacrifice themselves, but to make their own needs, their own desires, and their own goals a priority.
I love
Until we
that.
start honoring what we need, until we start honoring ourselves, nobody else is going to honor us. And we'll find ourselves being the co-star in everybody else's life and neglecting our own life. So I'm looking for women that want to be leading ladies in their own life.
That's right. I love that. That is amazing. All right. Now, you said your name of your company is Tapestry of Love. Where did that name come from?
So the tapestry of love actually came from a scripture in the Bible in Colossians chapter 2, verses 2 through 3. In the Message Bible, it talks about us being a tapestry of love, being woven into a tapestry of love, in touch with everything there is to know of God.
Mm,
And it's not a secret, it's not a mystery, but everything is tied to Jesus Christ, the one who shed his blood for us. That's what I believe. And, you know, I don't need to, I don't, God's not doesn't have a big ego. So, if you call him the universe, okay, he created the universe. So whatever you choose to call him, I choose to call him God. And I don't know. My faith is very strong in what scripture says, and I've
uh,
seen the results.
I love that. That is beautiful. Tapestry of Love. That is such a beautiful name. And I know once you showed me a picture once before where it was, just talked about just the different threads and the way we all connect. So I just thought that's a beautiful depiction of what you said and the name of your company. That's very inspiring. Very inspiring.
Yeah. You know, a tapestry has two sides. And the back side of a tapestry is like all the threads that are cut and tangled and twisted up, and you really can't see the picture because it's just, it's really ugly. The back side of a tapestry is ugly because it's on this loom and it's just all these different colors and all knotted up and stuff. And if we're not careful, we'll pay more attention to the backside of our tapestry, based on our hurts, our pains, our wounds, our um, all the things that we think how we were mistreated or who done us wrong or who borrowed money and didn't pay us back. We'll stay focused over there, from childhood all the way up to 90 and stay stuck there. And if we just flip it over, there's a beautiful masterpiece that's been woven, and then when you flip it over and you really start focusing in on all the good in your life, then you see yourself in an image that you're supposed to see. And most of us are clouded from that beautiful side of the tapestry. And I want women to know you are beautiful. You are wonderfully and uniquely made. You are more than a conqueror. You have everything you need. You were created in the image and likeness of God, and that's all you need to be. You're enough. You're more than enough.
Yeah, that is beautiful. I really love the way you put that. As far as when you think about the backside being ugly and then the front side being beautiful, it's almost like, when you talk about transforming people to how the inside, you want to make the inside match the outside. So you want to, think about how the back is totally different or the inside is different. And you go through that transformative process when you get to the outside. So that's beautiful the way you put that. Now, well, let me ask you this really quick. California Highway Patrol. Now, I didn't know that about you, cuz.
You know, there's so many things that people don't know about me. you know, um, I could write a book just on the things that people don't know about me.
mm, I,
But yes, so yes, I work for the California Highway Patrol in Barstow, California. And California is where there was a situation with Rodney King that started riots in Los Angeles.
mm-hmm.
So I worked for the California Highway Patrol. I'm dating myself now, during a time where they did not want people of color in their um, vicinity, and
Mm,
um, and so a couple of the sergeants were having a conversation about me in my face, and they were saying, uh, "I think she looks like Oprah," and then the other one says, "I bet she wish she had Oprah's money," and
mm.
I'm thinking, "Am I invisible? How y'all gonna talk about me in my face like I'm not here?"
It's like, hey,
You
I'm
know?
mini Oprah right here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Really, So, but yeah, yeah, it was interesting. But you know, one thing I like about having a life of faith and divine providence is that all that I endured there at the um at the Highway Patrol, at California Highway Patrol, all that I endured, uh the Lord redeemed, and he vindicated me.
Mm,
And so the state of California at a young age uh, is paying me for the rest of my life. As long as I got breath in my body, they are paying me salary and medical and medical, dental,
awesome.
and a salary for the rest of my life because of enduring um, hardness as a good soldier.
Yeah,
Because
that's
of enduring the things that that was just not right. So
yeah.
sometimes you don't even have to fight your own battles. You just be quiet, chill.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you about just, as you mentioned about what you've had to endure. I'm sure that your faith had to play a huge part in your transformation, even going from that to where you are now. So tell me about that and how you've used faith to help transform you into this powerful life coach that you are now.
Well, you know, faith is something that you can't see, right? It's like you're taking a leap forward into the unknown, and you're depending on something that's invisible. It's a substance. It's a substance, right? It's a and so faith played a big role in my life when I think about um, all the wounds and the hurts and the pain of abuse, of divorce, of a spouse passing away, after 35 years of marriage, rejection, um, being subject to gossip and lies. What other ills? Uh, Prejudice.
Yeah.
All of these different things, that long-term illness, being a caregiver, all of these different ills. Faith was the thing that got me through to the other side of it. And
Mhm.
so I don't believe myself or anyone else on planet Earth has been able to walk through this life without some level of brokenness and woundedness. And that brokenness and that woundedness is the thing that the potter wants to put back together in us if we will give it to him. We all have this place that needs to be healed, and we can cover it up and we can mask it and, put on makeup and uh, weaves and crochet hair and look cute. And, but still, there's an internal work that has to be done. And so I may be the CEO of my company, I may be the CEO of my life, but I still may have some unresolved trauma, hurt, pain that I really need to let go of in order to be, in order to maximize my potential. And I
Mm.
think everybody wants to maximize their potential. However, they just don't know how to let that stuff go.
Now, as you're speaking, I'm thinking about, to me, that's like you mentioned, like the backside of that tapestry, right? That's like the backside of it, to where we have all of this, this hurt and this pain and everything that we don't want people to see. So we try to hide it and we mask it with what's on the front side. Um,
And then it
yeah.
comes out in other ways, you know, the ones that are at the top of their game in the business world, um, uh, the highest title in the church are the most wounded and hurt because they feel like they don't need to release, or they don't need to be vulnerable, or they don't need to let go. And so they're the ones that make the rest of us crazy because they lead and they really need to let some stuff go. I mean, I'm making light of it and as a joke, but um, in all reality, all of us are broken. We have some level of brokenness in some area of our life. And it takes self-love, self-care, um, assessing our need. What do I need? For so many years, I didn't know what I needed. So how could I communicate that if I don't even know myself? Because I haven't spent enough time by myself, with myself, to ask the hard questions, to delve into the real person. Who am I really at the core? Who am I really? And what do I really need? I don't know, because I'm too busy all over the place. Jack of all trade, master of none, not being, just I know a little bit of everything. And I can help everybody else with their stuff. And then at the end of the day, I go back home and I'm dealing with just me.
Mhm.
And that pain is still there. So then then I have a glass of wine or two, or then I'll have a whatever, Jack Daniel, whatever your choice is. And it may be the drink tonight, it may be the shopping spree tomorrow, it may be the the trip on the credit card that's almost maxed out already. All of these things that we find to try to cover and put a band-aid on what we just have to choose to let go of instead of running away from.
So, how would a person go about practicing self love? And then, let's talk about why is it important to have self love?
Self-love. Wow. Wow. It's like an epiphany, because when you don't have it, you don't know you don't have it.
Mm.
And so you're content. How it played out for me, I was content with everybody telling me, "Oh, Cynthia, you did a good job. Oh, Cynthia, oh, I'm so glad you called me, girl. I really needed to hear from you." Oh, da, da. So it was all of these external affirmations, and and the root of that was like unworthiness and low self-esteem, self-doubt, insecurity, all those things that we don't talk about, that we mask. And and so then self-love plays out in a role of like, what can I do for me today? So my first thing in the morning is, what does Cynthia need today? Do I need to listen to some soft music? Do I need to listen to some praise? Do I need to listen to a motivational message? I love ET. Um, he will get you going in the morning. He'll make you feel like a sluggard.
Every
If
morning. Every morning.
he's
I get out of
gonna
bed.
get you up and on your feet and tell you why you need to be. And so, listening to people that get you going and get you started, you need that. Where was I going? But self-love for me played out as, first of all, understanding that unconditional love is not something that I give out, it's something that I give to myself.
Mm.
How do I love myself unconditionally? And how do I fill my own cup? So I don't, instead of relying on somebody else, when my late husband was living, I used to get upset with him because only time he would buy me flowers was when he thought I was angry with him. I love flowers. Well, guess what? Now that he's gone, I buy my own flowers, and I can pick what color, what kind, how big, how small, whatever. So I like flowers, so I have no problem with buying my own flowers. And that's something that brings me joy. Um, so I can have a party all by myself. I can put on some dance music and I can dance like nobody's watching because nobody is watching to shift the atmosphere for myself, you know? So there's things you start learning. Like I was reading this book called I Love Me More. And
Mm.
in there, she says to make a joy list. What brings you joy? Nobody is responsible for your joy. Nobody's responsible for your happiness. You got to own it and you got to do it for you.
That's right.
And so in the profession that I'm in now, I find a lot of women. I was sitting in Cancun, and there was a group of women talking, and they were talking about all what they wanted to be and what they wanted to be to their man and what they wanted their, how they wanted their man to make them a priority and this and that and the other. And I was like, oh, don't say nothing. This is not your conversation. They're at the table next to you. Be quiet. Be quiet. And so anyway, but as it turned out, when they got up, they talked to me. And so I said, I kind of heard your conversation. And I put my hand over my mouth because I didn't want to say anything. They said, say, what are you going to say? I said, well, I was thinking, how many men do you think is on a golf tournament or on a men's fishing trip that's talking about what they want from a woman or what they need from a woman and all that stuff? You're here on a women's girls trip. What? Why are you using your time and energy, putting energy that way? So again, how we direct our energy is important to self-love and self-care. So when we pour energy into ourselves by loving ourselves, then it causes transformation to take place. Until I stopped running to the restaurant for self-soothing or to make myself feel good, and I started preparing my own meals. When I started preparing my own meals, I started loving myself a little bit more. It was like, oh man, I never did this before. And so I started making these pretty little omelets and decorating it and all this stuff. And it was like, oh wow, I started feeling value. And then when the scale started going the direction I wanted it to go in, I really started feeling good. So self-love causes you to love yourself.
Yeah.
And in a way that maybe you haven't before. So I want to encourage everyone that's listening, make a joy list and decide what it is that you love and go after it. I'm giving you permission. So you like going to the spa? Put it on your calendar this year. It's January. So you got from now to December, somewhere, put a spa day on your calendar.
Once a
Nobody's
month.
gonna die if you're not there for anything. Go to the spa, buy yourself some flowers. You may need a puppy. I don't know, but whatever that is.
And keep the puppy.
But make yourself happy. Be responsible. Your spouse, your boyfriend, your partner is not responsible for your happiness. You are.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as you blame and point fingers and find fault and judge, then you're missing it, because we all have opportunities to grow. And so that's my faith. I don't know if I answered your question,
Oh,
cuz,
yeah,
but
you did. And
I'm
just,
just,
knowing as women, we tend to always put everything else before ourselves. So to hear you talk about empowering women just to do little things like, just remind them it's okay to say no. It's totally okay for you to just say no and to focus on you. Because sometimes we'll put our stuff to the side and put somebody else's stuff before ours, and then we'll be regretful. And, like you said, have an attitude, or it'll show up in different ways because we're not showing up for ourselves.
absolutely, absolutely. And even with saying no, um, there's times that now that I've learned how to say no and not explain or not to, it's just no. I don't have to explain why I'm saying no. I'm a grown woman. I can choose to say no. And it's not personal. It's not against anybody. It's just that I have a better choice for me that aligns with what I'm called to do and what I'm called to be. And for too many years, I was 2 steps and 3 steps behind where I needed to be because I was somewhere else helping somebody else accomplish what they needed to accomplish. So now it's like even course correcting a yes. For example, this week I said yes to a birthday event and then to a birthday event for myself. But an opportunity became available to me that aligns with where I am. And that opportunity has to do with helping me with my company and helping me gain resources that I need. So I had to course correct. It's like, hey, I need to be here. Even though I said yes to this 3 weeks ago, I got to course correct. I got to say no to that. I have the right to change my mind. And it's okay for me to change my mind. So, girls, we're going to have to reschedule or something, or we can push it back. But I need to be over here.
So why do we as women feel like we have to offer up an explanation when we don't want to do something? Because I don't know if men have that problem. They just be like, nope.
And that's it. Case closed. And so I think we were cultured that way. We're nurturers. And I think it came from like how we were cultured and our upbringing and stuff that, we just feel like we got to be the mama, we got to be the wife, we got to be the this, we got to be the boss's assistant, we got to be these super women that make sure everybody's okay before we're okay. And that is a lie from the pit of where.
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't have to do that. We're valuable. And there's a book, I think it's called Worthy, and it talks about mirror work. Sometimes we have to look in the mirror. Like I look in the mirror and say, I'm a business owner. When I get up in the morning, I'm a business owner.
Right.
So when I go out of the house, I want to look like a business owner. So I'm not going walking around the mall in sweats. That's for the gym.
Look, you already know I get up every morning, and even though I have a long walk across my living room into my office, but I get dressed because I'm going to work every day. When I come into my studio, come into my office, and people are like, where are you going? I'm going to work. You know what I mean? Because this is my business, and the same thing. I have to have that mindset Because if I don't have it, if I don't take my business serious, who's going to take me serious?
There you have it. Said by Keisha the electrician. You're absolutely correct. And then if you don't look like a business owner, who wants to do business with you?
There you go. 100%.
And if you're not, if you don't have joy, how can you help somebody have joy? And if you haven't gone through a transformation, why would anybody believe you to help them transform their life? You know, when you fill out a job application, I don't care how many letters you have behind your name and how many degrees you have, they're going to ask you, do you have any experience?
That's right.
So guess what? I have decades of experience at this thing called life.
Mm-hmm.
And the more experience we have, the more we embrace our growth opportunities, and the wiser we become, and the gentler we become, and the less that we have to be confrontational with people about what we like or don't like. You know, I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I'm a Godocrat. You know, if there's such a word, I just made it up right now. But you know, I'm on God's team. I'm not either one, you know.
Yeah.
And so I can't entertain a conversation about, you know, this, that, and the other. At the end of the day, if God, the creator of the universe, gave his only son, he so loved the world that he so loved the world that he gave his only son. Why, if he loved the world, then why am I picking and choosing who I want to love?
That's right. That's
And I'm calling myself walking with him.
Mm-hmm.
Something is out of alignment with that philosophy. So anyway, but we didn't. I don't think you have me on cuss for you to be to talk about my faith so much, but
No, that's okay. If it's a part of you and it's a part of your journey, that's what we're here for. You know.
Yeah, so that's how I got where I am. I mean, like,
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
starting all over, you know, in my 60s decade, I'm starting all over. And I'm doing this alone by faith. I started a company by faith. I get up in the morning by faith. I overcome emotional um, um, attachments by faith. I release and let go of what was by faith. I embrace what's new by faith. It's all my faith. It's the stuff that I'm hoping for. So I'm hoping for a lot of some new clients. I'm hoping to increase my income. I'm hoping to increase my client base. I'm looking for women that want to make themselves a priority. Are you ready? Are you ready to honor your own needs? And if you're single, if you're married, if you got kids, I don't care what your life may be, what your circumstances may be right now. There is a way for you to weave your needs into your life. It's a
So
choice.
you talked about just the journey that you went through and some of the struggles and challenges that you had when you were a California Highway Patrol officer. But I want to ask you about, since you started Tapestry of Love, gotten into entrepreneurship, what is one of the biggest challenges that you faced so far on this journey?
The biggest challenge that I face,
Mm-hmm. Or the one that you have faced since beginning your entrepreneur journey?
I think the biggest challenge that I face right now is consistency. My challenge is being consistent with a daily routine, And I'm all transparency. My challenge is because of who I am. God created me this way, so I've been a life coach ever since I was a kid. I just didn't know I didn't know what to call it, and I didn't know how to package it. And until I was able to get a website and package it and get business cards, I've always done this. I was always a go-to person, but I just didn't know how, right? So now, as a result of having my own business, I see the importance of it. So I see the importance now of getting up at 6 a.m. in the morning. I see the importance now of exercising. I see the importance now of making water my favorite beverage. I see the importance now of eating healthy. I see the importance of managing my emotions and doing inner work. I have a therapist. I'm a life coach, but I still have a therapist I talk to.
That's
Hey,
right.
I need you to help me manage this. I'm still trying to figure out how to deal with these personalities and these energies that come into my space that make me want to say, hey, say them words that you weren't supposed to say in church.
And you gotta hold them words in.
Yes, yes, yes. But I through assessments, I know you do a different type of assessment, but I've done I've done the DISC, and I've done the Strength Finder assessment, and um um and then I did a temperament assessment, and I did all of that. Number one, to know me, and number two, to know how to communicate with people that have different personality types than I do, or different temperament types than I do, so that I can communicate with them in their language. Because if my temperament is one that is peaceful, and I just want to be around peace, and I don't want to be confrontational, and I just want everything to be okie dory all the time, well then, and I have another person that is results oriented. They want to get it done, and they want to get it done now, and they're very strategic, and they're going to say what they say, and they're going to walk away, and they want it to be done when they get back.
Mm.
And they may use a word like, you need to, well, when I hear the word you need, that's like, that goes off like a big bell for me. And for them, that's their language. It's not personal. It's just a language that they use. They get results. And you find people that are CEOs of their company, or, that kind of roll with that strong temperament, that strong personality type. They get results. They're visionary. They have so much vision that they want, look, they're putting it out. They're doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, that's more fear than respect, though. When you have somebody who's barking orders and not respecting someone, the person they're barking them at, they may do them, but that doesn't mean that they respect them. It just means that they may fear them or fear losing something, so therefore they choose to listen.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So all of those different temperaments, personalities, there's an immature side, and then there's a mature side. So as we grow, we mature in who we are. But in the immaturity of who we are, we can say things, do things, offend people, all of this stuff, because
Mhm.
we're immature in that. And hopefully we'll keep growing and, you know, soliciting coaches. I mean, it's amazing to me um, how athletes and singers and most people that are at the top of their craft or their skill, they have a coach. And
Absolutely.
until I invested in a coach, a life coach, a business coach, a therapist, I wouldn't have got here. My faith, I have faith, and I had scripture, and I tithe, and I did all the good stuff. I was still stuck. because I needed a coach. I needed
Yep.
somebody with an area of expertise that could help pull out of me what was on the inside of me. And a coach is going to help you to be your best. They're not your friend. They're going to tell you, they're going to talk to you and keep asking you effective questions so that you can get the answers. Because every problem or challenge or situation that we find ourselves in, the answer is on the inside of us. It's not on the outside. So when I think about all the years I ran from conference to conference and all that information seeking that just, the dopamine that's released in the brain, it like you go to a conference and they hype you all up, and then they got their table in the back with their books and their this and their that and the da 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 da, and only today we're going to give you a special, we're going to give you this free, and we're going to give you 3 free things, and then um um and it's $20,000 that you don't have. But that dopamine rush gonna tell you, okay, let me see, I could put 5 on this card, 5 on this card, 5 on that card.
Yeah.
And that's not funny, but it's reality. This is the world we're living in now. We're getting, and then once I get all of this stuff, and I'm talking about myself, I haven't spent $20,000, but I spend way too much over time.
Mhm.
I fell in the category of an information seeker. And so now with all the algorithms and all of the things that we have on social media, they can read me like a book. So they know what to pop up and what to send me. And if they get me to look at it once, okay, we got her. Let me send it again. Okay, so she like this. She like it this way. She
Yeah.
like when we say it
I
this
hit
way.
that unsubscribe. So I
Yes,
click
unsubscribe.
unsubscribe.
Yes. But if and you have the wisdom to do that, but can you imagine how many people, and I used to be one of them, that I invested like money and so much time and energy into stuff external, stuff on the outside, looking for my purpose,
Mm.
when my purpose is on the inside of me. And when I started being still, I think it was Jay-Z that said everybody need to spend a year by themselves.
Mm.
Just be
Sure.
quiet, but spend a year by yourself. Don't be with no friends, don't turn on no TV. Just spend a year with you.
I think COVID kind of pressed all of us to do that. To spend a year by
Spend a,
yourself,
spend a year with
with
you.
everybody sheltering in place, and we were
And
forced to be with ourselves.
yeah. And look at all of the YouTube channels and
Mhm.
all of the movie stars we have online now. I mean, I don't even have TV. I don't even have regular TV
Yeah.
because I can pick and choose and I can watch what I want to watch on YouTube, and I can veg out with Netflix if I want. And TV doesn't mean anything to me. I don't need to know the current news. Somebody gonna tell me what's going on current event.
I'm the same way. I don't even have time to watch it because I'm so busy doing other things. But it's really not even of interest to me. But and if you go on social media, then it's already going to be out there, and you're going to see, the same stuff that goes across the news. And sometimes you get more realistic information on social media because the media is they're going to mask it and tailor it to their audience, as opposed to you just seeing it fresh from other people's social media pages. So.
Mm-hmm.
But still, you still have to do your own research to make sure that you're using discernment because you can't believe everything you hear or see.
Right. Girl, I ordered some stuff probably about 2 years ago during COVID, and they had this big sale, and it was all of this stuff really cheap, something going out of business, something, and it was like stuff for like $3.99, $5.99, and all of this stuff, and it was cookware, and it was all of this stuff. Girl, I ordered that stuff. I'm still waiting on it.
Well, at least it's not sitting in your garage in a box because I probably did the same thing and I received it and didn't even use it. So, what's better to have it and not use it or to never have gotten it? It would just be there sitting there probably collecting dust because that's what my stuff usually does. It's like,
Yeah, they
I got
got my money, but
stuff.
they didn't. They didn't never send me my stuff. you know. But, you know, they didn't never send me my stuff. But, you know, they didn't never send me my stuff. You know. But, you know, they didn't never send me my stuff. You know. But, you know, they didn't never send me my stuff. You know. I went to see that movie, Harriet Tubman and the Underground Railroad,
Mm-hmm.
and they called her
Harriet.
Moses.
Okay, yeah, I've never watched the movie, but I've heard of it.
Well, she's trying to get people out of slavery, and and
Okay.
so she was good, but she had to like actually pull a gun on people, like telling them, "Come on, like to make them leave because they were so conditioned to
I'd have left.
being staying with what's familiar." And so that was their safe place. They were familiar in it. And here she comes, and she's having to scare them to come with her to freedom, some of
Mm.
them. And that's where we are now as coaches, that really have a heart to see people transform. That, I'm I'm
Mm.
not I'm more concerned about you maximizing your potential and discovering your purpose than I am how much money I can make off of you.
Mhm.
Because without purpose, you're not fulfilled. And if you're not fulfilled, you're going to find other things to try to fulfill externally what's on the inside of you.
So I'm going to tell you something that I found when I was doing some research on you. It says that you started the first mentoring program and for girls, and is it Gwinnett County?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Gwinnett County.
Tell me about
So
that
that
program, or what
yes,
what
that
what made you
program.
want to start that?
What made me want to start it?
Yeah.
Again, I've always had a heart for women. I've always had a heart for girls. And so my husband was a mentor for boys in Gwinnett County, and they did not have a program for girls. And I'm like, well, we the influencers. How y'all gonna have?
Exactly.
We need these girls to get some mentoring too. So the principal at the school, it was an alternative school, so all of these young people have been kicked out of regular school for one reason or another, and the principal took a chance on me and allowed me to start a flagship girls mentoring program. And what did I call it? I called it Love.
Nice.
Ladies of Value, and what was it? Ladies of Value and Excellence.
Oh wow, that's so good.
Yeah. And
Akron.
so I did that for 4 years, and I actually have a plaque that they gave me even after my husband passed away, and they dedicated an area in their media room, if I wanted to come back and do mentoring. And I tried it, but that season, that ship has sailed.
No,
But
that's
I really enjoyed talking to the girls and giving them a safe place to where they could tell their stories and share and open up the world of possibilities to them, and give them hope and you know vision for a future that they couldn't see beyond um, you know the mom that was on drugs, or the dad that was in prison, or their lifestyles were hard, and they um, to be able to take we took our own money and bought them Chick-fil-A and stuff that they couldn't normally eat. There was like, my mama said that's too expensive. And so it'd be so nice that we would take them Chick-fil-A or pizza day or donuts, and just sit and have little rap sessions with them and let them tell us what was on their heart. So it was more about them telling their story than us telling our story to them. And
look. You
I
made me think of
really
something.
appreciate that.
Look, you made me think of something. You talk about parents, what they say to their kids. So back when I was younger, we didn't have Chick-fil-A. We had McDonald's. And my mom used to, or my grandmother would always say, "You got some McDonald's money?" So parents say, "Ain't too expensive. You got some Chick-fil-A money?" No, you can't
Uh-huh.
have no Chick-fil-A. No, you can't have no McDonald's.
Mm-hmm. That's, yep. Yeah, and these kids were like, my mama said Chick-fil-A is too expensive.
Look, I
So
remember
that
my
it
son
was,
was younger. I was
hmm.
gonna say when my son was young, he'll be 18 next month. But he used to always say, "Mama, just use your credit card. Like you know, if you don't have no cash, just use your credit card." Like no.
My son one time told me, Mom, just go to the ATM.
Mm. Look, you gotta have
I'm
something
like, you
in to
gotta
get
have
something
money.
out.
And see, isn't that now you see how we can correlate that when it
Hmm.
comes to money, you gotta have something in order to get something out, right?
That's
And that
right.
works in every area of our life.
That's right.
You know, I've got to have some um, resilience if I'm going to stand in this day and time that we're living in.
Yep.
We all need some level of resilience. How do we get that? How do I get that?
Yeah, you reap what you sow. You know what I mean? You
I
got to
need
reap
a
it in order to
coach.
sow.
I need accountability partners. I need a support system. I need to ask for what I need and not expect people to read my mind. Um, all of these different things. Um, but we can't live in this time that we're in right now without drawing strength and support from each other. We're all connected and we all need each other. And we as women, we don't have time to be judging and to be pointing fingers, and we've got to support each other. And so that's why the Tapestry of Love Hub is going to be a group of women that come together. Some people call it a tribe. I'm calling
Hmm.
it a hub. It's a
That's right.
hub of women to where my favorite word is to cross pollinate. We're going to cross pollinate our gifts, our talents, our love, our prayers. We're going to support each other so that we can get through this season and get through our life and do life together so that we can all be better, because we all need each other. We're all connected. I love what that little girl, she was 13, I guess, like 2 years ago, but she won a, a, a prize of 600,000 kids.
Mm.
And she put together like these arms with knitting needles. And then it was like the world, to me, it looked like continents on the arms. And then in the middle of these knitting needles going together was this, all of these different people, all different colors, all connected. And a 13-year-old said, we're all connected to each other and we're connected to the world. We're all connected. And she
Hmm.
said, but most people don't know that.
Yep. They don't realize it. Can't do
A
it. You can't do everything
13-year-old.
alone. Yeah. You have to do. You have to be connected to other people. You know, even though you want to grow in silence, but when you come out of that and you start to branch out, you need other people to help you. You need other people to connect with and to help you grow.
And you have to be willing to submit to processes. Like
Hmm.
if I'd have never submitted to the process that Mary Kay taught about business and women, I wouldn't have known how to be an entrepreneur and do a business. If I wouldn't have submitted to the process of something called the 40-day turn up, I wouldn't have never took the time to prepare my own meals and to limit myself to going out and to all the things that, I mean, today, because of me submitting to processes
Hmm.
and having accountability, I was able to release 60 pounds within a year's
Mm.
time just from submitting to a process of eating healthy.
That's
No
amazing.
shots, no nothing, just eating right and exercising.
Yeah, and 60 pounds is a whole lot of weight. That is amazing. That you think
Uh,
about 6 10-pound bags of potatoes, that's a lot to carry.
okay, okay. We're talking obese.
Hmm.
And so, I mean, I got a grandson that's 12 years old. He probably weighed about 60 pounds. I'm like, it's like carrying him around with me all day, trying to hold him walking around,
It's a
you
lot of weight
know?
to shed. And then when you
And
shed it
so,
physically, you also shed it mentally as well.
we'll see, there was an internal.
Hmm.
The internal was first, and the external, that was a result. And it all is back to where we started, self-love. I had to love myself enough, and I had to learn how to love myself. And I had to talk to myself in the mirror and say, Cynthia, you are valuable. You are important. You are kind.
That's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You's important. Girl, you better know you important.
Crazy. So look, I want to ask you about your spring retreat that you have coming up. You have something coming up on May 3rd. Talk about that. Tell me what you got up and coming.
Yeah, yeah. So up and coming, I'm so excited. It's going to be my first annual spring tea party. It's going to be on May 3rd, and it'll be after doing a virtual retreat. The virtual retreat is called Beauty for Ashes, and it's going to start the first Tuesday in March. The first Tuesday in March. So March and April on Tuesday nights from 7 to 8, we will do Beauty for Ashes virtually. And then on May 3rd, we're going to have a tea party. And we're going to dress cute. And we may do fascinators. We may do hats. We may just let everybody do their own thing, whatever. But we're going to have, whatever we do, it's going to be fun. And it's going to be a great time. And it's going to be empowering.
So how do they sign up? How do people go about signing up for these events, for the Beauty and Ashes, and then also for the Spring Tea Party?
So on my website right now, I haven't had a chance to put that on my website yet. Unfortunately, my web developer has the flu.
Oh boy.
And so she's
Hopefully by March she'll be getting
getting,
over it.
huh?
So hopefully by March
I'm
he or
sorry.
she will be getting over it. The
Oh,
flu.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So right now, so it'll be on my website. You'll be able to sign on my website. However, for those of you that are watching me, you can go to my website and just click on the discovery call. That way, if you click on the discovery call, the 30-minute discovery call, you can leave your email information. And then from there, I can contact you and send you out more information about the online retreat.
That sounds like fun, actually. I'm trying to make sure I put it on my calendar to be there so I can have my little umbrella and my hat, and my
Yes.
sandals, trying to be cute. Look, I got a spring dress I'm trying to get into. I got about 10 more pounds to go, and hopefully by March or May 3rd, I'll be able to fit into it.
May, yeah. You got all the way to May 3rd to get cute. I got some more pounds to drop too. And so I'm
Oh,
looking
look,
forward
it's
to that.
spring.
It's
My
going to be a
nose is
great.
running. Excuse me, y'all. Oh, Lordy. Whew. I don't know why. It sounds like dust inside my house. Oh, excuse me,
Uh-oh.
inside my office.
In your office. In
In
your
my office.
office.
So you also have a
Yeah,
book that's going to be coming out soon too, right? You're working on a book?
I am. So that same book that I started way back in like over 12 years ago, The Tapestry of Love. In that book, I tell a story about Mephibosheth. And Mephibosheth lost his grandpa, his dad, and was crippled in the same day. It's a biblical character. And his caregiver dropped him running, and he became crippled. And she hid him out in a place called Lodabar. And Lodabar is this place where the derelicts, like, have you ever seen people sitting on the corner and their clothes are dirty or they may be smelly or whatever? But Lodabar is this place where people stayed, that were the forgotten, the ill. And that word Lodabar means no pasture.
Mm.
Well, we are called to lay down in green pasture, right? There's a green pasture for us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, long story short, the king at that time was David. And David sent out a search for any heirs of Jonathan, which was his friend. Mephibosheth was the son of Jonathan. And unfortunately, Mephibosheth was so afraid He thought because his dad and his grandpa had been killed, that the king was going to try to kill him. And I believe that that's kind of what happens with us as people. We think that God's got a hammer, got a belt or a hammer, and he's trying to kill us. And he's actually trying to get us to this table that he's prepared before us in the place of our enemies. So Mephibosheth had this table, the king's table, for him to come to. And it had already been prepared for him. This is in the book. And so we have a table that has been set before us in the presence of our enemies. And you know, all that brokenness, hurt, wounds, and all that cripple. Do you know when you sit at a table, it's just like I am sitting here right now? You don't know whether I have legs or not. Mm-hmm. You don't know if I'm crippled or not. And so when we go to the king's table, when we go to that table that's been set before us in the presence of our enemy, guess what? Do not fear.
That's right.
So that part of us that's fearful of the next, I was fearful to get on this podcast with you today, cuz.
I don't know why we talk all the time.
However, this is new. This is something different, right? And so when you're stepping into something new, there's an element of fear associated with it. And so I'm glad that you're the first person that I'm doing the podcast with, because I got to do a radio interview on Thursday.
Okay.
So this is kind of my icebreaker to that, you know. But again, I've been invited to a table that's set before me in the presence of my enemies. But I was too afraid to come to the table. What if I would have canceled on the day? Because of
allowing... I mean, driving to Atlanta with my camera, be like, you're going to get on camera with me.
But can you imagine false evidence that appears real?
And all the time
total opposite of faith. Total opposite of faith. So I came on by faith, you know, because I really believe that my call to be a pillar of strength to God's daughters, I really believe it now.
That's right.
And that's what I was talking about with Harriet Tubman. I really believe that I need to pull some women out of Lodabar. Okay, so you've been hurt, so you've been failed, so you fall down, so you did whatever happened. It's time to get it up and out, let it go. Are you willing to let it go? Are you willing to be healed? Do you want to be healed? Do you want to carry it to your grave? Some people do. You don't have to, but some do.
Well, I'm going to ask you my last question that I ask all of my guests. And the name of the title of the show is Alpha Intuition. So when you hear that name, Alpha Intuition, what does it mean to you?
Alpha and Omega. No. Alpha Intuition. So Alpha is the beginning. This is the beginning of me doing podcasts and being a voice in this season. Alpha is a beginning. Intuition is intuitiveness, discernment, a knowing. I had a knowing in my gut that this was going to go good and that this was a safe place for me to start out. So to me, Alpha Intuition is begin and trust your gut. Intuition.
That's it. I love it. Well, Cynthia, man, I appreciate you being here. I thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story, sharing your journey with us, and being vulnerable enough to just let us into a little piece of you and who you are. And I'm going to put your information on the screen one last time so people can take a look at it. And I'll also put it in the bio too, so you guys can go and follow Cynthia Lyles and the Tapestry of Love. And let's not forget about the tea party, the spring tea party that's coming up on May 3rd. And then also Beauty of Ashes. Is that what it's called? Is it what is the event, the virtual event? It's called, is it Beauty of Ashes?
B4A.
Oh, okay. Making sure I
Beauty
got it right.
for Ashes. You're kind of
Beauty
freezing and coming back. You're freezing.
Beauty for Ashes. So look forward to those two upcoming events that Cynthia is going to be having in the month of May. And like I said, I'm going to put her information here. But if you're looking for someone, women who can help you to overcome whatever you're going through and to help you become more confident and be resilient and help you to own the word no, then this is who you need to bring in. This is the person that you need to hire as your life coach. So, Alpha Intuition family, I just want to thank you guys for hanging out with us today for this last hour. And I thank you so much. And if you found these topics that Cynthia has talked about today, you know I love hearing from my listeners. So if you guys have any questions or anything else that you'd like to ask, just put them in the comments and we'll go back and try to answer them for you. And also make sure that you drop a message and leave us a review. Now, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And also, you can connect with us on our social media. I still have Cynthia scrolling across the bottom. And as you see, mine is Keisha the Electrician. And remember, as always, you guys, the journey to the top of any mountain begins with one single step. You guys know you got to do one thing for me. You got to keep that energy and don't stop. Keep climbing. Peace.